Hey, how's it going? I had a video come out last year titled talking about DVDs and why they're still around. A lot of people immediately assumed for some reason that I was talking about streaming and how streaming's better than DVDs or whatever, which wasn't the case. You watch the video, I'm talking about why do DVDs exist when Blu-rays exist. Why weren't they progressed out so Blu-rays could take precedence over them because of better quality and all that kind of jazz. And that obviously led to a whole different thing of because DVDs are cheaper, they're easy to use, a lot of people are more used to them than Blu-rays, and stuff like that. But of course, now I want to turn up the opposite cheek. Of course, I want to look at streaming, and can streaming be good for physical media? No, it's not. But it is for me, for a very particular reason. Because of course, streaming existing is good for masses in the degree of, Netflix subscription is a certain amount of money, and that's the price of one film. So if I'm buying a streaming service or paying for a selection of films that could change whenever, because I know they're not permanent, it's fine. We all hate Netflix, it's fine. But, it gives you a range of stuff. So that's always great, that's fun, whatever. I like using streaming. I still obviously have over 2,000 movies. It's pretty goddamn obvious that I love buying Blu-rays too. But at the same time, streaming can give you perks that physical media sometimes can't. Not always. It's very minute. But there is a benefit at the end. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. So please don't yell at me. Hear me out. All right, I'm getting there. Streaming for me has the benefit of there's a lot of films on there, and I could choose, hey, I want to watch that film because it's available for me on streaming, rather than me paying $20 to $30, or even import fees, $40 to $60. Oh boy, and this is Australian dollars. For in the US, double it. In the UK, I don't know, double it again. So the benefit can be I could watch a film on the service and be like, hey, okay, film was fun, but I didn't care that much for it. I don't want to get a physical release. I'm happy to have experienced it once in my life, and I don't need to go back to it. If it's a film that I absolutely love, I'm like, this is fantastic. I can't wait to watch this in 4K, or at least on Blu-ray, with a solid bit rate, with no, what's that thing when you're watching a streaming show and it's all chunky and stuff? Yeah, that thingy. It's basically the equivalent of bitrate on the disc, isn't it? I can't remember what it's called now. It was there in my head a second ago. But you know what I mean. The quality of streaming in contrast to physical. It's it's not exactly potato. It's pretty goddamn obvious that physical is going to look stronger no matter what. But that's also a fun part about having streaming, because I personally only pay currently, as of December of 2023, pay for 2 streaming services. I pay for Apple TV Plus because I like the TV shows that they have on there. They're all exclusive to those, but I like them. And they're also streaming it in fucking 4K with HDR and Dolby Vision, and it's a pretty damn good streaming service. I'm pretty happy with it. It feels premium. It's nice. I watch For All Mankind on it. I love For All Mankind. Apple TV Plus has a bunch of great shows and movies. Cool, whatever. A lot of these are originals directly for Apple TV. That's my main perks and promises with Apple TV. If you get stuff like Binge, which the American equivalent is Max, you've obviously got Disney Plus, you've got Netflix and stuff. Most of those don't own the movies that are on the services, Disney being the obvious exception. And so I like Apple TV for its TV shows. It's the only reason I pay for it, and I only pay for it while my show is airing. So while For All Mankind is airing, I'm going to pay 2 months worth of Apple TV Plus, and then I'm going to stop doing that. So that's great. I'm okay with that. Also, I'm sharing it with my parents, so it's $13 Australian dollars, and they also get to watch whatever the hell they want, which means my dad can finally watch For All Mankind. You have no idea how many years I've been waiting for this to happen. It's really exciting. So that's great. The only other service I actually pay for, because currently I've got a $2 subscription to Binge, because it's $2 and I get to watch anything on Binge, with ads, but I'm also like, I don't care. I got to watch Scavenger's Reign, that was cool. It was the only way I could access it. Which is the main priority of why streaming services can be beneficial if there is stuff that's strictly for streaming, and it's like, hey, this is the only way you can access it. Obviously, the conjunction there is, hey, well, if there's no physical, that kind of sucks, and it does. It always sucks. For All Mankind only getting the Blu-ray release, are you kidding me? That shit should be out in 4K. It looks tremendous. The black's crisp as hell, because it's space. So anyway, The only other service I actually pay for myself is Criterion Channel. And that's one I pay for, and I can pay for it for a couple months at a time, or I could do it. I can't do a yearly subscription because I'm in Australia. It's hard to get a good subscription. You've got to get a VPN and whatever the crap. But you only need to subscribe to the VPN once and subscribe for a month. Then pretend you're in America, bam, I'm subscribed to the Criterion Channel, and then you can just get rid of your VPN. I thought you needed it the whole time. Turns out you don't. Thank God, because that actually made my internet really slow. But the benefit of that streaming service is you get a whole bunch of extra perks with it. I mean, they give you like the $10 coupons every couple months for the sales, which I just put on Reddit because I'm like, I can't shop on the Criterion store, so here you go, have a treat. And people are appreciative. I'm like, cool. Like, I'm not there for the karma, but I'm also like, I mean, I guess, but I don't use Reddit that much, so it doesn't really bother me. But I don't want to just throw it out because I'm like, someone could benefit from this. I'm going to be nice. It's like when I get digital codes from the US, you know, in my Blu-rays here, and I just show it on screen for any of my viewers to get because I'm not going to use it. I don't use digital codes. It's not my jam. So I like using this Criterion Channel. The only annoyance with it is the fact that it's US dollars, so of course the weaker the Australian dollar gets, the dearer the, you know, subscription gets. So it's gone from like $16 a month to about $20 a month, which sucks. You know, not much I can do about it, but you can pause your subscription for 3 months at a time, which is great. It means you don't have to pay for 3 whole months, and I'm probably going to do that as a start of next year because I've watched a bunch of films that I know I'm getting my money's worth of, and that's good enough for me. So the obvious other ones is Netflix, which my parents pay for. It's a family account, easy peasy. I don't have to worry about it. I also don't use Netflix. I've hardly used it in the past year. I've used it for like the new Scott Pilgrim show, and that's about it. Unless I'm watching something with my mates on, like, we have Discord nights where we'll just jump on, watch a show on some streaming service, and go by that, you know, whichever one we can all correlate with. Oh, can we use Disney Plus? Can we use Netflix? Can we use Stan? Can we use Binge? We find one that we all have, and we watch something on it. So, you know, that's fun. Disney Plus is the other one. I don't pay for it. It's my partner's account, so that makes it really easy for me because I can just watch whatever on Disney Plus whenever I want. But of course, when Disney pulled out of Australia, it became a buy all the physical media you can from Disney, and now you got to import the rest. So, yeah, that really sucks. The fact that that was their push in Australia of, hey, fuck you Australians, we want more Disney Plus subscribers, so we're going to remove all of your physical content. What a bunch of assholes. Anyway, we've been through that. Still reeling from the ramifications of it, that's okay. But the benefit of streaming that I will say, outside of the easiness of the regular Joe, not just you and me, but the regular Joe watching whatever. My parents watch a bunch of shit on Netflix, it's easy peasy, you know, whatever. I only am annoyed when they're watching a film or a show when I'm like, I've got that on 4K. You know, I've bought it, I've put in the hard work and got the money and then put it into a physical format and no one's fucking using it. Because they're all like, oh, but it's here on Netflix. I'm like, oh yeah, enjoy that fucking shitty ass bitrate that you have no idea exists. Oofed. My benefit, personally, is when I find a film that I have interest in, or I'm like, oh, this could be fun, I chuck it on. Usually this is a Criterion Channel thing. And I watch the film, and I really like it. I'm like, damn, this was a great film. I'm going to find the physical version of it. It's same for when I go to, like, the Cinemaniacs, which is a film group in Victoria, in Melbourne. They do screenings fortnightly. Now we'll be at the Astor, which is fantastic. They had a screening for Sleepwalkers. This is the same for Criterion Channel had Knight Riders, the George Romero film. And I really loved my experience watching both of these films. And not just because one of them was in the cinema and one of them was on the Criterion Channel, but because I was like, I want to find these on physical and buy them. And so I did. You know, I found a limited edition release of Sleepwalkers from Eureka, and it's great. I love the sleeve, I love the booklet, the audio commentary is great. There's so many great extra stuff that you can't get by just sitting and watching a movie, either through streaming or in cinema. Knight Riders, the other one, which had no extras on the Criterion Channel. Obviously it was one of those, oh, we're going to rent this for like a month, you know, or a month or two. You can watch it for this amount of time. They tell you on the Criterion Channel how long you have to watch a movie. It's fantastic. I always know when a movie's leaving the channel because my mate Ben just is on Letterboxd and he watches all the ones that are leaving the channel. So like he will watch a bunch of films even if they're absolute dog shit, and he'll be like, and I'll be like, that must be leaving the channel at the end of the month. And so that one was, Knight Riders was, and I ended up finding the out-of-print Arrow Video Blu-ray, which was 35 Australian dollars on eBay, which is like, that's a good goddamn price for something that's worth $200. And so this was obviously bought secondhand as well, because it was bought from a store that I go to in the city, and they hadn't removed the stickers from it. And I knew that, like, you can just peel those stickers off, so I bought it. It came with the Blu-ray, the DVD. Basically, it was almost identical to the Scream Factory release in terms of special features, but everything else was identical. But you also get the booklet with, like, a whole essay as well. And it was $35, and I just took off the little stickers, and bam, you got reversible artwork as well. Beautiful. So for me, that's the benefit of streaming, is that I can find and browse for a movie that if I'm interested, like when I had done my video last year talking about, the Blu-rays I regret that are on my shelf, or when you regret buying the Blu-ray, I think that was what it was. I mentioned Mars Attacks. That's one that, like, the next day showed up, like, a couple. It turns out that had been on Netflix the month before, and I'd missed it. And, like, because obviously Netflix doesn't tell you when something is leaving unless you go to click on it. And it says, oh, this is leaving in a couple of days. And you're like, shit, thank God I clicked on it now. Fucking make a goddamn set list like Criterion does. Why do you make it so hard? And so my friends had recently watched that, and I didn't know that it was leaving. And so I didn't get around to watching it. And when I went to find it, it was gone. And I was like, shit. Well, I guess I better buy the Blu-ray, because I was under the impression that I might still like the film. I liked Tim Burton's earlier works. I like the concept of the 50s alien invasion. There's stuff like that I really appreciate. It's that kind of film that I'm like, this will be right up my alley. I buy the Blu-ray, $20 comes in. Sure, I wasn't huge on the film. I think it should have been a Joe Dante-led feature, but that's okay. But the thing is, I still bought it, and I'm like, I'm not against having bought it. It's just the experience I had watching the film just almost didn't make up for the element of buying it on physical. And this is just still a standard release, so it has basic amounts of special features. There's not much extra to it that streaming wouldn't have compensated for. So is that one of those films I would have been like, yeah, I kind of would have preferred to have watched this on streaming? Maybe, I don't know, again, it was on Netflix, so you're not going to get, like, the best compression. That's the word I'm looking for. You're not going to get the best compression. It's going to suck. So the benefit there is still, I got it on physical. I can now watch it whenever I want. Hey, how about that? Isn't that wonderful? My brother's friend had once come over. I know I'm going on a tangent, but this all connects thematically. I had my brother's friend come over once. He said that he loved Call Me By Your Name, and he didn't have the movie on his shelf because he watched it on streaming. And I'm like, how can you have a favorite movie and not have it on physical, That's the part where I've obviously grown out of it, where I've bought a lot of movies, and a lot of them I'm like pretty proud on, like so-so, if you will, in English. And so it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, there's a plenitude of films that I'm not going to like that I have bought, and I don't care. I bought a German movie called Killer Condom. You think I'm going to enjoy it? I bloody hope I should, because that shit won't cheap. But it's fun, This is obviously where physical beats streaming. You get better, bit rate, you get packaging. It looks bloody awesome. Look at all these movies I have. Movies and TV shows. You get so many special features and stuff. Bare bones, Blu-rays are still meh. At least you get hopefully a decent transfer and decent bit rate, Obviously there are still the detriments to some physical, like some movies can subjectively be awful, or even objectively be awful. The transfer, the lack of special features, the audio, all the technical details still could be flawed. So again, as I approach it, do your research, for one thing, but also, if you want to watch a film that's on a streaming service, don't just chuck it on your watch list. Like, I'm a kind of person who, I like to be in a mood for a movie. I was in the mood yesterday to watch Mad Max, the original, and its sequel, The Road Warrior, because I was like, I haven't watched these in yonkers, I need to watch them again. I have the Blu-rays, so I chucked them on. I ended up, after watching both of them, ordering the 4K set from the UK, even though it comes with the full film, and it's on 4K, so Fury Road, with its black and chrome edition, stuff like that. I don't care, I already have that, I don't need it, but I bought the set anyway, because I was only going to get the second film, but then the first film comes with the 4K remaster, the third film's 4K remaster as well. They all come with Blu-rays because they're from the UK, plus it comes with an extra disc, which is like a whole 90-minute long documentary about the making of the first film, exclusive to that release. You can't get that anywhere else. So I'm like, Do I wait for a sale at JB and only get the second film for like $20 on 4K? Or do I, even though it was a 2 for 40, so I could have gotten less than 20, but still, like $15 to $20. Or do I spend $70, it was actually 68, to get 4 movies, plus a 5th version of one of the movies, plus a documentary? So it basically equates to 6 goddamn features. How cool is that? Sure, it comes with the same special features I already have for the first 3 films, but of course, again, the extra documentary from the first movie. And I don't really get any bonuses with the road, with Fury Road, because I already have Black and Chrome and the 4K. But at the same time, I don't mind. I love the movies. I can't go wrong, you know? So, that has nothing to do with streaming, but I don't know. I think we're all going to move on from that eventually. As we all know, like, as it seems to be coming for a lot of collectors, we all kind of dislike streaming to a large proportion. You know, a video I did, not even mentioning streaming once, had a whole bunch of comments about people saying that they prefer physical over streaming, even though it didn't relate anything to the video, just because they read the title and they didn't watch the video. Yeah, I know how you work. Some people are like that. It's fine. They will see the clickbaity title. They will assume they won't watch it. It's like seeing the title of a news article and being like, oh my god, this person did that, and not realizing that if you read it, you actually find out maybe they didn't. That sounds like a cancel thing, cancel culture thing. I don't know. It depends. It could be a political thing. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But still, it's, yeah, I don't know. Look, streaming will still suck in contrast to physical. You know, I still don't mind the perks of getting to see a broad range of stuff that I wouldn't see normally, you know, especially the Criterion channel. You know, if I go with that or Apple TV, there's stuff that I'm going to get quality stuff, quality films, quality programs. Criterion has short films as well. There's so much stuff on there that you wouldn't find elsewhere. They've got exclusive releases there too. This isn't an ad, but I'm just saying, it's like, the streaming services I use, I find there to be a lot of value in having them. Something like Stan or Binge or Netflix, I could live without. I know Netflix has all the Friends and all of Seinfeld, and that's wonderful, and they're all remastered, but it's also widescreen for a 4x3 show, and you notice the errors, so it's like, that kind of sucks. But, makes it easier to binge it, you know, but then you got Binge, so it's like, I don't know, but half the shows aren't on Binge, it's annoying. Again, the factor of how many goddamn streaming services there aren't that many in Australia, I'll be honest. A lot of them are in the US, so you guys have fun with Roku and Max. Oh, joy. Anyway, that's all for this video. I don't know. I don't want to say list any good streaming services down below. I think there are some that are free, like Tubi and whatever, that are actually apparently quite good. Those are ones I would like to check out, especially for the horror ones, where you can get a bunch of low-budget horror films for free on a streaming service, which sounds marvelous. I still don't like streaming half the time because I usually have to hook up my laptop to my TV if there's no app on the TV. And then half the time, if the microwave goes off, like if someone starts putting something in the microwave to microwave their food or whatever, for as long as that goes, I cannot watch whatever I'm watching because it just won't connect to the internet. That sucks. But at least with physical, I never have that problem, unless the disc is faulty, or my player is faulty, or the TV's faulty. But, you know, nothing's perfect. Anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah, I don't know, go yell at me in the comments about how streaming sucks. I know it does, I'm not stupid. Look at all the shit I have. I know you can't see all of it, but I got a lot of physical products. And it's wonderful, so, yeah. And I do just like using streaming to at least browse. Be like, oh, I want to watch this film because I really like this director, or I really like these actors, or whatever. Like the Parker Posey collection they had in December. I never would have expected to have bought or even watched Josie and the Pussycats on Blu-ray. I bought the Blu-ray because I watched it on the Criterion channel. I'm like, I love this movie, I need to buy it. Who does that? Me, I do that. Okay, have fun. Goodbye. Support physical and whatever crap.